Welcome to CB's podcast. This is a casual creative podcast and hosted by Ralph, my partner in crime, and myself, Steven. We're the founders and creatives of Sea Beasts, a creative storytelling publishing house thing.
Yes.
I never know how to describe us because I make it up every time, and it's always like kind of close, but that'll be good for now. Yeah. So we're a creative studio. That's probably the best way. Creative studio, eventual
That's
publishing
pretty
house. First project we're working on is a children's book about an adventurous waffle character, his pet companion, who is a butterfly, a fly made of butter, and a magic shape-shifting fork. Which, if you've been here, you know that. But for anyone new, just that's what we're working on now. Ralph's been doing some branding. Story is written. I'm just whittling away at the pages. So I got a couple more down, and still shooting for a release date end of this year.
They say slow growth is the only healthy growth. So
very, very relevant with what we're going to be talking about today, which is about chasing trends. And don't do it, essentially. Don't chase trends, guys. There you go. Thanks for listening. That's the podcast.
Yep.
No, so chasing trends, I can't remember what we're calling this entirely, but the dark side of chasing trends, I think, is what we talked about. And it works for some people. I don't think it's the best bet for everyone. But on the counter side, on the counter argument for trends is going to be talking more about longevity and slow growth, as Ralph said. So that's what we will be talking about. But the first thing we're going to be talking about is the insane amount of games that have been announced in the last few weeks in the different showcases and announcements, because Ralph and I like video games a lot, and so we tend to talk about those. So, Ralph, what are some of the shows you watched? What did you?
I think I perused every show except for the Nintendo Direct. Okay. Not that I don't like some Nintendo stuff. I'm totally fine with it, but I just didn't watch that one at all. So the rest of them I have, I picked through and I know the highlights essentially.
Are you a fan of the game Persona?
I've never played it, but I know that Persona 3 is a big game for Persona fans.
I for some reason I thought you were a fan of that, but
I never played them.
Okay, me neither. I was just gonna say they announced like a Persona 4 remake, and then Persona 6 is coming out, or
which
something.
I do know that they already remade Persona. There's already like a definitive gold edition or something of Persona 4. So they're just remaking it again, which is a theme. That's a theme of games currly is kind of like the remake space and reimaginings, et cetera, et cetera.
Yeah. We got a couple of those on my list here. Yeah. So what was which one should we talk about first? Do you want to talk about? Did you watch the Sony State of Play one at all?
Yeah.
I don't remember what was announced there. I just kind of started writing games, and I don't remember what was.
Honestly, the Sony one, in my eyes, was pretty underwhelming.
There's like a final season of Destiny that launched right after it, or something.
Yeah, and then they did announce Insomniac's new game, which would be
the Wolverine one.
The Wolverine game, which the problem is after Spider-Man 2, which was not good.
I didn't play that one.
It wasn't. It sucked. Well, but the reason it sucked was it did. The reason it sucked though was because of its writing and its story was really bad. The gameplay. Here's what I'll give Insomniac. They still seem to know how to make a fun game, like mechanically good. Which is important. So the Wolverine game might be solid gameplay wise, and it did look like something I liked about it was it did look pretty uncompromisingly brutal. Like it looked really brutal. Wolverine with his claws. Like
it was, yeah. There's so much blood. He would like hit someone and instantly just be like showered in blood.
Yeah, which I do like. Although it feels like there should be dismemberment, and I don't think there was any dismemberment.
I can't remember.
But
no, I think you're right. I think you're right.
But I mean, whatever. It's a new Insomniac game. Maybe it'll be pretty good. The one thing though, and this is just maybe a side topic, but the art direction for the Wolverine game is realistic, okay?
Sure.
Uber ultra realistic as they can make it. And when they do that with the superhero games, I think the costumes kind of look funny. Like
Sure.
he just looks like a guy dressed funny. Rather than if you went for more stylistic art style, more reminiscent of the comic books, I actually feel like it would be more fitting, and it wouldn't look so goofy. It would just kind of fit the tone better. But from that one, yeah, Wolverine, and then I guess the new God of War game were probably the biggest games coming out of that.
Laufey,
which I have issues with that one as well. Although, admittedly, I never played God of War.
I've never played any of them.
I never played God of War. Yeah.
When they came to PC, like on Steam, I was like, should I get that? But just investing in like, I don't know. I just don't feel like I have the time to invest into like big games like that, or just like I don't have the energy capacity. I don't know, whatever it is. I felt the same with Wolverine. I was like, this looks like cool, and I played the X-Men Origins Wolverine game.
Yeah,
whenever that came out, 360, I think, and like I really enjoyed that game. I played a lot of it.
Yeah,
but there's something about like the action games that I'm just like, I'm not super drawn to right now.
Okay. Just your mood.
I guess. I don't know. I mean, those kind of third person action games, I played like a Ninja Gaiden game a long time ago. I played like Splinter Cell games. Those are all kind of
Did we played two? Ninja Gaiden 2, right?
Yeah, we've played a lot of that.
Dude, that one was pretty good. It
was good.
Pretty good game. Hard though.
It was hard. There's a tangent off of that one, of another game that was announced.
Mm-hmm.
But like, I don't feel like I would really want to go play that right now. Like, it doesn't.
Yeah.
Ninja Gaiden, like I played it, like one of them, and it was a lot of fun. I think I like played through the whole thing, tried to get like as many achievements as I could. I don't think I fully committed to like 100%ing because there were some crazy ones.
Yeah, I think you have to like A rank or S rank or whatever their system is.
So there's something about like button mashing and that kind of stuff that I'm just not intrigued by. But
the only button mashing game that I ever fully Kingdom Hearts is an awesome game, and it's a hack and slash kind of button mashing kind of style game.
Did you see they announced Kingdom Hearts 4?
Yes.
Okay. I thought I was gonna drop a bombshell on you there.
No, I'm aware of Kingdom Hearts 4.
Yeah. Okay, so my tangent from Ninja Gaiden is the people who made Ninja Gaiden and
Team
some
Ninja?
other.
Is that them?
I don't know. And they also did like Bayonetta and these like fast-paced melee games. They are making a Ninja Turtles: The Last Ronin game, which I think we've talked about.
Yeah, Team Ninja. Yeah.
Okay, so they're making a Last Ronin game, which for those of you who are not on video, I have the Last Ronin Ninja Turtles like director's cut. Graphic novel thing right here.
Which showcase was that in?
I think it was Sony.
Sony? Was it Sony?
I think it was Sony.
Again, I only watched bits and here and there throughout the day. But
I didn't note down games for that, and I don't have it on my list, and I would have written that one down. So that one, I love the story of The Last Ronin, and I'm gonna get that one. So even if it is like if I had to choose between Wolverine and Last Ronin, and if they were similar games with like fast-paced action, I would 100% just choose The Last Ronin. But there was no like actual footage of this one. It was like
teaser.
It's just the name. It's like, here's a sewer grate and like or something.
Teaser.
Ninja Turtle-y.
That's how the Ocarina of Time was as well.
I know.
It was just a like Link on his bed, I think.
Yeah, it was in his bed in the Kokiri town, Kokiri Forest. Which I'm really excited about that because Ocarina of Time is one of my favorite games of all time. And I have played it so many times. And so if they have like a reborn, I think it was one of the words that was used, a reborn version of that, I mean, obviously has like the same story beats and same main things. But if it's like a bigger experience or like a more filled out experience, there's some areas like the main Hyrule area where you ride your horse around. It's like pretty empty. So they can like,
right. Yeah. I mean, yeah.
Yeah. There's a lot of like secrets and random things around, but in general, like I think they could do some cool stuff with even maybe having it all as one open map, especially if they use like Breath of the Wild tech with that huge, massive world. Like there's so many loading zones just between regions in there. But anyway, I think it'd be really cool seeing updated like geography and like geometry.
Did you ever play Twilight Princess?
Yeah.
I mean, that's basically, you could almost look at that as a reconfiguration of Ocarina of Time with the gimmick of the wolf,
right,
and the Twilight Zone or Twilight World. But it has like all the same. I always looked at it as kind of a reimagining of like a spin on Ocarina of Time, essentially, which, in hindsight, it got a lot of flack when it first came out. There was definitely a wave of like people hating on Twilight Princess. But in hindsight, Twilight Princess is actually a really good game. Really solid game. It has some negatives, of course, but it's a solid game. So while you're waiting on while you're waiting on the new Ocarina of Time, and if you've never played Twilight Princess, I would recommend play Twilight Princess, because it's very similar in mechanically, the locations, the zones you go to, the dungeons, and a lot of that is kind of straight up a evolution of Ocarina of Time's game design template. So
it has been a long time since I've played that one. I randomly went back through in the past few years, like every once in a while I'll go and play like some Zelda. And so I replayed like Ocarina of Time, played through all of Majora's Mask, and I was going on to Wind Waker, and I got a little bit into Wind Waker, and then I kind of fell off that a little bit.
Okay.
But like I liked a lot about Wind Waker as well, and Twilight Princess has been a really long time, and I have never actually played through all of Skyward Sword.
Me neither. That's actually where I basically dropped off of Zelda, but it was at the time, it was more so because I just didn't have a. Was that a Wii release?
Yeah, it was. Yeah.
I just didn't have the Wii.
You got it for me for my birthday.
Yeah,
because I got you for your birthday. I got you Sting, the Hobbit sword.
Oh yeah, dude, I forgot about this.
And then you got me Skyward Sword, and then I never
still have that sword, by the way.
Nice. I never actually played through the Zelda game.
Oh, that's okay.
I started it and like probably did a dungeon or two, but at some point I just fell off.
I think
controls were funky.
I think that Skyward Sword actually departed from the type of game that Zelda, like the kind of game design that Zelda explored before. It sort of departed from that, but not as successfully as Breath of the Wild.
Right.
If that makes sense. Like, Breath of the Wild departed from the main format, but it was massively successful. Skyward Sword, to my knowledge, was not critically as successful as like other
people say it has like the worst companion. Anyway, we're getting lots of tangents.
Oh right,
here.
Yeah, I forgot.
I do. Yeah, I could talk about Zelda all the time.
Sure,
we have these topics that we
Zelda
just
segment.
like dive into. Okay, so Zelda was announced and it's coming out this year, but not with a firm release date. I've been scouring the internet for anything else.
I feel like that's gonna be delayed.
I think it's done. Like I think it's.
But they didn't show any gameplay
because they have other releases coming out. So they have like this Splatoon Raiders game, which by the way, I've never played a Splatoon game, but this thing looked really cool. And it was not the standard like multiplayer type thing. It was like a 3D platformer with like character, like RPG elements. You can level up your character, unlock new like crafting things that you can craft, and then those are like your abilities in match. And so you're going through these like 3D platformer levels, doing all these like things. And I'm like, this actually looks really cool, and I am interested in it.
All right.
Even though I have no interest in Splatoon prior to this.
Yeah.
But that one was really cool. So I think from what I was reading when I was researching this was like, it's usually like 3 months out that you'll see any gameplay because Nintendo kind of keeps things like close to the chest for a lot of things. And so when they have other releases coming out, like Star Fox, I don't know if it's out, but it's coming out soon if it's not. Say like a Star Fox remake, I believe. I think it's a remake.
Yeah,
or
it is,
or whatever.
It's like a well,
another
you could call it a remake,
yeah.
but basically it's going to be totally. It's not trying to be exactly like the 64 version,
right? So there's that one, and then like Splatoon comes out, I think either end of this month or like next month. So they have these other like things lined up. So I think they don't want to take away like marketing or traction for those, and so they want to give more space to those games. So I'm sure after those, then I think we'll start seeing something. And if it is 3 months out, because they're also having like a specific Splatoon Nintendo Direct coming up, I think, where they like dig into it, go into more details on just that game, which is like, if they're doing it for that, they're going to do that for Zelda. Like, unless they're, I can't imagine they wouldn't. I don't know. But if it's a few months out and we look at like the release of the original, at least in America, Ocarina of Time was like in November. It's like maybe they're trying to hit a November for like holiday stuff. Yeah, who knows? Anyway, that's
Christmas release. That could be.
It's probably going to result in me getting a Switch 2 finally.
They need something to sell the Switch 2 because I don't think they really have much else that's selling right now.
Yeah, I think there's like some good games on there, but nothing that's just like
Kirby Air Riders. I'm serious.
Is that a racing game?
Yeah. Okay. Although, is that also on the Switch 1? No, I think that was a Switch 2 exclusive. I'm pretty sure. Good game, but doesn't have mass market appeal, so I don't think it's a system seller.
Yeah, there's a few that look fun, and like I'm just getting my kids into like Mario Kart a little bit, and so if we were to get a Switch 2 and like
get them Kirby Air Riders if you get a Switch 2.
I'll have to look at that. They have like all the auto steer, auto drive right now because they don't fully understand the controls, but they're
it might be a little too spastic then if
they're just like, what's happening, and they're just so we do that like, I don't know, maybe like once a month we'll do like a game night. Anyway, so there's some other games. One interesting, so I guess like overall like themes, other games that were cool. There was like 4 different ones that seemed like BioShock likes. There's Clockwork Revolution, which is now
BioShock Infinite 2.
Right. It's now going back to being Xbox exclusive, even though it was like, it's probably going to come out other things. So Xbox is now going more exclusive with a lot of titles. That's a different topic as well. There's another game announced a while ago from the previous developers of BioShock called Judas. We haven't gotten any updates in a while, but that is a BioShock like. Another one announced was Valor Mortis, however you say that. And that is like a BioShock Souls-like, apparently, or something. And then there was another one called Magicians, The Devil's Deal, which again, first person, same kind of aesthetic as like BioShock, but like with a magic, like a classic black and white magic wand that like a stage magician would use, and you're like fighting off demons or something. I don't know entirely. There's like some kind of interesting story to that. Look, I mean, they all look like cool in their own right, but there's a lot of them that just have the similar kind of.
They just have the
like,
same aesthetic.
A little bit.
Yeah, it's a bit tired by now, not gonna lie. I just feel like that's been done. We've seen the steampunk thing. We've seen
right.
We've seen that thing that aesthetic played out. We've all we understand. You read Atlas Shrugged. We get it. Okay.
Yeah. Well, we'll see how those all go. I mean, I loved BioShock, the first one. BioShock 2, I may have played through it once, but I don't fully remember it. And then BioShock Infinite just felt like a different thing entirely and didn't have the same appeal to me.
Yeah, BioShock 1, obviously great. Definitely a good game.
They should remake that.
BioShock 2 was good, fun, basically just kind of expanded upon the mechanics. It just didn't innovate too much.
Sure.
And I think the focus on the problem for me with BioShock 2 is that part of what made BioShock 1 so great was how mysterious it was.
Oh, yeah.
Like literally the game, like,
jump scared me so many times.
It's like the perfect balance of intrigue, a good story, a really good like twist, and then like the opening of the game pulls you in like nothing else. It is seriously so genius what they did, like the plane crash, and then there's just a structure there, and instantly as a player, you're just like you are now in the shoes of this person who doesn't know what's going on, and there's like very little cutscene or anything. You swim there, and you go in there, and you figure it all out. And it is it's so well done. I mean,
so good.
I would call it a perfect game, but it was really good, and it was fun. Like as a game, it's fun to play. It was solid, tight.
Very unique aesthetic at the time.
Very
unique,
fresh
world.
Yep. Good. Pretty good. Pretty well done. So, yeah, that's where BioShock 2 kind of stumbled, because while the gameplay was still good, and actually they streamlined a few things, and you could call it an improvement in a lot of ways, it didn't quite have the same hook or mystery. The story felt like a bit not it just didn't innovate quite, I didn't think.
Which then they did innovate a lot for BioShock Infinite, but I feel like it was just it didn't. Some of the elements of the original BioShock was like the dark aspect of it, and so when the Infinite,
and mystery,
and Infinite didn't feel as dark or like as intense. Like there was like a whole like kind of revolution-y type thing, with really interesting mechanics and like cool things, but it just felt like it's a city in the skies, and like which like took the element of like, oh, it's a city underwater, like Rapture was this unique thing. And now we have this, I don't remember what it's called, but the city in the sky is like, they did the same thing where it's like, hey, here's a new environment that's like has interesting mechanics on how life works here, or how you get around, or all this stuff. But it just didn't have the same, I don't even know, because I think the city and the history had depth, but it was just a different.
New Columbia?
Yeah, that sounds right.
Is that what it was?
Yeah. Anyway, so
yeah, a lot of BioShock likes, like you were saying,
right. And there were also a lot of like indie game spin-offs. I don't know if you in the what is it, Summer Game Fest or something. There were a decent amount of interesting ones. I haven't played Dave the Diver, but there was a whole spin-off game about the sushi chef from the game. It's called Bancho the Chef, I think. And it's literally about how he learns to make sushi, and it's a sushi making game for the most part, which is like a character from Dave the Diver, which I think started as an indie game. I don't know. I think it's owned by maybe Sony now. Either way. And then another 3D platformer from the last, I don't even know, maybe decade, 5 years, similar to like Banjo-Kazooie, I think made by those people was Yooka-Laylee.
Oh yeah, yeah.
And they announced Yooka-Laylee Kart, which is like a Mario Kart, but a super Yooka-Laylee Kart. And they made it in the aesthetic of like, for the most part, Super Nintendo. And so it's pixel art, even just like the original Mario Kart, where like had like the sprites were kind of, I mean, I think it's more 3D rendered, but it had some interesting like pieces that were reminiscent of Super Nintendo, like Mario Kart, which like I sort of liked, but there were some pieces of it that I'm like, it really bothered me about the original Mario Kart that made it hard to like visually like see depth.
Yeah.
There was some element of what they did
that I'm like,
sprites
for a racing game feel like a bad idea.
I don't think it's sprites. I think they just kind of like had some pixel rendering on it, so I think it is a little more clear. But there's still something about it that I'm just like, that's very interesting, and that they're like progressing in the same way of like they had like a platformer game, and now they're doing a kart racing game.
Yeah.
Some cool like kind of spin-offy things like that. Yeah. Anyway, those are my highlights. But well, no, wait, you finish yours, then we'll get to the biggest one that I'm most excited
about. Well, I mean, for me, the ones that stand out are Spyro 4. Yes. Now, I'm not under any sort of illusion that this is going to be as good as the originals. But dude, more Spyro is good. I love Spyro. I think Spyro is that's like my childhood, you know. But it's also solid. Like the game is good. Spyro holds up easily. It's so obviously seeing a new one come is cool. The only concerning thing to me is that they made it to where like he's grown up now, or like he's a teenager now or something, and so he can actually fly longer distances. They didn't explain how that's going to work, but to me that runs the risk of breaking the platforming that made the originals so good. Like the glide mechanic worked really well, and if you can just fly or glide places, well, it's no longer a platformer now, is it? You know? So I'm kind of not sure how that's going to go. But otherwise, hey, more Spyro. I think I'll play it and we'll see if it's good. There's a Metro 2039 game coming.
I did make note of that one. Yep.
Which looks, the Metro games are pretty good. Metro 2033 is a game with a lot of atmosphere, and it's pretty immersive. There's also Exodus, which I think is the most recent one, which goes a more open, like semi-open world. Where you're like in a region and you can kind of go and scour how you want and approach different situations a few different ways. You can go stealthy, you can go, loud. Those I'm pretty excited for. I think, did they talk about the game Ill?
Did I recall?
I thought I saw it on a list, but I'm interested in that game.
Yes,
nonetheless.
There was a Silent Hill game too, I feel like.
There was, but after Silent Hill F, I'm not interested in anything that comes out with Silent Hill. There's a Fable game that's going to be bad, probably.
I don't know, man. That was one I was thinking about too, because like I played Fable 1, 2, 3 all the way through, and like really enjoyed those games, but I enjoyed them in high school. And so, so there's some element of like, is the humor still gonna land?
No way.
Is it gonna
Millennial writers cannot
corny?
Do it. Yeah, I don't know. They can't.
But from some of the previews and stuff, like I'm intrigued, and like I'll probably try it out, or if it's on Game Pass, which it might be.
Sure.
Maybe I'll have to get Game Pass just to like try out some things.
Yeah. Kick up that subscription again.
Yeah. Okay. Well, then the one I'm most excited about is the Halo Campaign Evolved remake.
Yeah.
Which we've glanced over. We've talked about the concept of it.
Yes.
There wasn't a ton of information at the time last time we talked about it.
Mm-hmm.
So this one they had like, so it's a remake of Halo 1, Halo Combat Evolved, and completely remade from the ground up. They made it in the Halo Reach engine, and then graphically it was made in Unreal 5. So they didn't build the whole game in Unreal 5. So they made it in like with all the physics and stuff from I think it's physics. I don't know. A lot of the stuff from Halo Reach, and then the graphic enhancements are all in like Unreal. Several like YouTubers got like previews of it and stuff and got to like play it for like 2 days on a couple missions. And so I've been watching a bunch of videos from their gameplay and like their thoughts and like it's looking really good. Like people are excited about it. They have a lot of like the hidden things, a lot of replayability. They added this like campaign remix play like feature where you can go and play and it like swaps up what enemies show up in encounters, and like you can add the skull modifiers for all like the skulls that change gameplay and everything.
Okay.
But the remix like completely shifts up, so you could be on the first mission and be fighting Flood, or like they introduced brutes into it because they have these 3 new missions that are like prequel things with Johnson and Chief and some of like things that they encountered early on. And so there's like these 3 new missions that are completely new experiences that have some brutes in there and like some new weapons. And they have like you got the energy sword and some other guns that are just you have throughout.
I did see that the needle gun is like the one from Reach, right?
Mm-hmm. But they have both. So they have the regular needler
Both.
and the needle rifle. Same with one of the plasma guns. Like they have the regular plasma rifle, but there might be like one of the other random plasma things they made. And like the fuel rod cannon is wieldable, the energy sword,
Yeah. I saw that
things
too.
like that. And from watching the gameplay and the stuff, I'm really excited about it. It's like one of my favorite series, and so I'm just yeah, it looks good. I think it'll be fun, and there's going to be some unique aspects to it. So it's not just like playing through the campaign again uh, for the 1,000th time, which I'm not upset about that either. But
No. Yeah.
there's more to it, which is cool.
Well, I'm excited for it as well, if for no other reason than it'll be something you and I could maybe do together. Like our childhood was Halo, and so this new version, if we can play like through with co-op or something, that would be cool. That's the only way to experience this, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Because it's no secret I have almost no faith in 343.
It's called Halo Studios now, so it's
I'm
it's
sure
different.
that rebrand is totally fooling everyone. But hey, I think if it causes if it creates a platform for us to play through and have some fun, then I'm all for it.
Sweet.
So I'll totally get it, and we'll have to play through. Let's hope it releases with co-op.
It will. It's fully it's there.
They promised us last time.
There's 2-player split screen and 4-player live online co-op. So it'll be really fun. I had some other random comment that I can't remember what it was now.
There's also, I guess, while you're thinking, there's a Lords of the Fallen 2 coming out, which I do like. Lords of the Fallen 1. It's a Souls-like. I mean, but it's pretty good. And they worked on fixing some issues with its original release. So basically, it's been patched a lot, and they've tried to listen to the fans and make it a really good experience. So maybe Lords of the Fallen 2 will be good. I think there's a new Wulong game coming out. Stuff like that. But that's really all from my list that was worth mentioning. The biggest one for me is probably Spyro, which is funny.
Yeah, mine's Halo and then Ocarina of Time, which are both coming out this year, which is crazy. 2 of my Halo and Zelda are probably the game series that I love the most and that I've played the most, and the ones that like the ones that got me into those series are both being remade this year, which is pretty huge. And so it'll just be a year of nostalgia, I guess.
Yep.
So
yeah, there you go. Yeah.
which is that the current trend? Chase like
Uh,
like hitting that nostalgic feeling.
well, if
Are
that's a trend, that's been years.
true, yeah, that's true.
Years of that trend. Yes, the companies have figured out that it's easier to play up nostalgia and kind of work within a framework that already exists than to come up with something new and try to gain a new audience with a new IP. So that's kind of that has been going on for a good while now. I don't know if it does that qualify as a trend
I
though.
don't know. I was trying to just segue into our topic today. So
Yeah, yeah.
so speaking of trends, Ralph, that's great you brought that up. Um, so the actual like topic, outside of video games today. Um, sorry that this episode is mostly video games. It's just a lot of announcements all at
It's
once
the
and a
Game
lot of
Fest
things.
time of year.
That's true. The summer games. Apparently that's like a thing. People have like, oh, like are there any good summer games? I can't wait to play like they see certain games as like summer games, whereas like I don't know. It's interesting. It doesn't feel the same to me because I'm I work all year. And so
Right.
like it's not like I've got summer break and I got all these games like I
Nope.
can just go play
Nope.
games. That'd be great. Let's go back to those days.
Yeah.
Um
Agreed.
anyway, so our topic we want to talk about was about chasing trends. And this is a thing that's you'll see trends in any kind of media, in games, in like movies, in social media, probably like the worst place for trends, like where it's like most time sensitive. I don't know.
Yeah.
Um, and just like kind of I think a lot of people are like, oh, if I want to get popular on TikTok, I gotta do all the trends that like this is what's trending. You see everything that's trending. There's new things trending everywhere. There's products that are trending. There's topics. There's styles. There's certain types of reels or videos or whatever. And YouTube is another big one that I don't know. I didn't mention that one first. But people are trying to do the things that everyone else is doing that got them popular. And so in summary, as like or not in summary, but like in a quick like overview of trends, it's like if you're chasing trends that are already popular, in some sense you're behind the curve already. So there's some element of maybe it's not worth it to chase trends because by the time you get something that is following that trend, people have seen it a bunch of times, and it becomes a bit derivative. At some point, it becomes like oh, it's this thing again, but with a new thing on it. So like there's some element of like
You'd have to identify it pretty early to
yeah,
like ride the wave, I guess.
which as an example of this, I worked for an marketing agency for a period of time, and one of our clients was a paper company, not Dunder Mifflin, and because I've still been watching The Office anyway. It was this paper company, and we were doing a bunch of social media stuff, and for some reason, like anytime some new reel or TikTok trend was happening, they'd be like, "Hey, let's make a paper-based version of this." Which for some of those, we like made a ream of paper into a character, and there were some that I'm like, these were pretty fun and they were pretty funny to make, but at the same time, I don't think it got much traction because it's a paper company for doing like a Wes Anderson style of like Paper's life at a day at the office. There's elements that are humorous, but it's not going to drive like traffic to you to buy more paper. Like it doesn't relate. So that was a weird example of like of my experience there, but I feel like trends have a time element to them that is hard to hit.
Yeah.
That's like my overview. I mean, what are your thoughts on chasing trends in general, and we can dig into certain things.
I think that I think some of it has to revolve around what you're making. You have to consider what it is you're making. So if you are making what is essentially disposable content. And there is a lot of that out there. Like, watch it, forget about it, move on. Like, if that's what your business is, like literally TikTok, Instagram Reels, a lot of YouTube, almost all of YouTube, you could argue, is essentially disposable content. You'd be crazy not to chase trends because it's almost the only way to survive, or at least play the algorithm, which is basically trends focused most of the time. But it also has like clickbait tendencies. So if you want to make something meaningful, you almost have to do the trend thing, but then sneak in your ultimate goal in there somewhere, just so that you're heard, or what, depending on your goals. But if you're trying to make like what we're trying to do, I don't think I think chasing trends would be detrimental in the long run, because what people like us should strive for would be more so audience trust, and then
uniqueness,
longevity, uniqueness, a unique voice, something that would last and hold up over time, because people would catch on if we were just trying to catch a trend, and then they would like not really care. Maybe we'd get more clicks than usual, or more initial sales numbers or something, but we wouldn't retain any of those people, right?
Yeah.
And there wouldn't be a real connection, and it probably wouldn't even qualify as real artwork or something. So
that is a good point.
Yeah. So depending on what you're doing, you should probably be aware of trends and what works.
Yeah, that's true.
But the dark side is you're probably, a trend will die. So if you only focus on trends, your stuff will die with it,
Yeah.
The relevancy of what you're making will go away just with the trend.
That's true. I think there's some element for, like, if we are talking social media, especially, or YouTube or anything like that, trends might draw people in, but you need to make sure you have substantial like stuff as well. Like, again, this is very dependent on what you're doing. Like, if we're trying to build a brand and like creative studio, publishing house, and we post on socials and do like these trending, reveal videos or trending whatever, like, that's cool, but we need to have stuff to like drive people back towards like the thing we're making. Like, that's a tangent of what we could do that would drive people to like the main purpose of what we are doing. So like there is some benefit of it. I'm not saying trends are all bad, but chasing them when you are trying to create, like Ralph was saying, when you are trying to create like the types of things we're doing, like books and different media and things like that, then if you're chasing trends, that tends to feel, oh, it's another version of this. Like we were talking about the 4 different BioShock like games right now. Like, if we were like, oh, we have this great steampunk world with abilities and gunplay, like, there's some element of like, okay, well, it's been done before. So there's some piece of that. The one thing I thought about, I talked to a friend of mine a while ago, who is an author illustrator for children's books. I was connected with him when I was like working on this one, my first book here. And he had like 2 books that were, I don't know if they were like signed, but they were at like a big publishing house, and like an agent had like got them there, and they're like, yeah, we're gonna make these. And both of those books fell through, like, even though they were technically like, oh yeah, we're gonna make these books and like we're gonna publish them, like within 2 months both of them fell through. The reasoning, he told me, was because one of these books was like, oh, we need this kind of a character. Like, this is what's popular right now. Like, kids want to see this kind of thing. Or like, oh, we have too many food-based, or like animal-based characters or stories or whatever, like emotions. Like, there's all these different things that like those agents and those publishers are like, oh, what's popular now? Those are the things we want to publish. The issue with some of that is like it takes a long time from getting signed to a publisher to get your book actually out. It could be up to like a year where like your agent brings it to them. They're like, yeah, we're going to make this book. And if it does ever actually go through the process, it could be like a year later. And by then trends have changed a lot. And so like some of it is like you can't bank on, like if you're seeing children's books or whatever medium you're in, videos, video games, like things coming out now, and you're like, oh, that's really cool, I want to make something like that. Chances are a year from now or longer, however it is, if you make that thing, like there's going to be several derivative versions or just several alternate types of games in the same thing. Same thing with books is like you don't want to shoot for what exists already or like what's popular at the moment.
Yeah. True. That's why like with trend chasing can work with short, quick, content that is just content, basically, that's easy to make. But if you're talking about something that's more involved, like a book or a game or even a movie or something like that, chasing a trend, it's going to be, I think it's going to work against you. And also, if you're trying to do something meaningful to you, and your goal isn't just making as much money as possible,
yeah,
then you shouldn't chase trends also, because you're chasing a trend that doesn't mean anything to you.
Yeah,
that's just about like numbers and getting a quick buck or something. So
on the flip side of this, let's not just be Debbie Downers over here, be like, hey, don't do stuff. What would be like an alternative? Like, what's the opposite of that? Like, when you talk about creating something meaningful to you, we have mentioned in the past we've talked about world building, we've talked about creative inspiration, we've talked about a variety of things, and like, what would be not necessarily finding the ideas, because like trends are essentially ideas. If you're like, I want to make a video, what's trending? Here's a bunch of ideas I could make based on things that are trending. What's the opposite of that? If you're like something more for more longevity, I don't know if it's how do you find those ideas? I don't know what the question is here, but what is like an alternative?
I suppose it would be artistic integrity.
Just be creative.
And yeah, like artistic integrity, and that mixed with your own unadulterated voice, as much as you can. I think that there's something to be said about doing what is time tested. Like, there's certain story structures that just do work really well, like the hero's journey.
Yeah. That's a great idea. Yeah.
So there's that stuff that just appeals to the human psyche. So but it needs to be your voice, and if you care about it and it's something that comes from within, I think that is the opposite of chasing a trend. It needs to come from you, at least like the initial spark or the characters or what you want to say, what your message is.
Sure.
That is anti-trendy, I guess. It's authentic.
Yeah, that's true. I think figure out what this is one thing, one method. Like find the things you like and find the things that you're passionate about and make things based on that. Like there was a while I was trying to get better at drawing and I'm like, I don't know what to draw. But I didn't want to just do drawing tutorials like we talked about last week. I was like trying to come up with or like even like UX design when I was trying to get more experience there. I'm like, I don't want to just go create finance, a fintech app or something. Like what is something I'm interested in? And so like books, adventure, create different like creative outlets, were like some things. And even some like I like video games and I also like these other certain stories. So one idea was like taking some characters from books and like creating it as if it were a like a video game character select screen was one idea. So I was just like, okay, find the things I like and how can I create something that is helping me grow the skills or do the hobby, the talent, the activity that I'm interested in doing, which at the time, like building in UX design. How do I take the things I like and combine them with that? And so like, yeah, this character select screen was kind of an idea of like, oh, that'd be cool if I could do character selects of like these characters from these books that I like. That's one idea. That's more of like a smaller project, not like a big thing, but you never know what that could result in. You know, there's, I think, find the things you're excited about and you're passionate about, and then see if you don't have story ideas or creative ideas, you know, use what's out there to inspire you to find something.
Yeah. Yeah, true. The only asterisk I would throw up is that purely being authentic to yourself does not equal a good product.
Sure.
So
Yes.
that's the one caveat. Like there's plenty of stuff that people have made that is very authentic to
It's
themselves.
just my style.
That sucks. So like I think if you're making a product, like if you're just making pure art for the sake of it, I mean, I guess do what you want. But if you're making a product, you should be authentic and you probably should avoid like trends if you want to care about what you're doing long term. However, you still should consider the quality of the product in general. Yeah. So you should understand what makes a good story, or like what's the proper tool for this thing or the other, or good technique, good best practices, but fit those within the framework of your actual vision, you know.
Yeah.
But check quality still, because you can make something that's just for you and you alone, and then if it's a product though, people might not care if it just sucks.
Right.
Even though it does have artistic integrity,
your mom will buy
have
it.
Yeah, it might have nothing but that. Yeah, and your mom will hang it on her refrigerator.
There you go. If my mom ever hangs up one of my books in the fridge, I'm gonna be asking questions about this.
Yeah.
So anyway, I think kind of the last thing I had on some of that is like, don't get caught in like Ralph was saying, depending on your goal of this. If you're trying to just make stuff improve or just make it for fun, do whatever you want. You know, you chase trends. But chasing trends can get very tiresome. So what I learned in having to do social media for this client that one time, anytime a new trend would come up, it's like you're rushing to get it out before it becomes, dated. And so it is exhausting. So while there's benefit to trends occasionally, depending on your goals, if you're just trying to grow and do something, sometimes chasing trends can be a lot of work and be really tiresome and not always worth it. So just check yourself on that. Be like, is this actually what I want to be doing? Or is this an supposedly easy way to just try to become known in some way? So it's tiresome, it's exhausting, and it's not always as fulfilling because you're just creating something based on what exists. It kind of falls into the same category of like tutorial limbo, like we talked about, last episode. If you're just copying what's already there, you're not actually learning necessarily. You're not growing. Like there's depending on your goals. Again, it's all relative, but yeah. And then when you are creating your own things, and if you are trying to have good quality products and, sell it, make a living off of your art, your creations, you do need to check yourself or check with others to be like, is this a good quality? And not just say it's your style as a way to get out of actually putting in the work to improve and get better. I've seen that many times. It's just my style. It's like, well, you just don't have style then. Anyway, not trying to be, again, a downer on there. Just be wary. I think that's kind of a key in a lot of the stuff. Like, nothing we say is all our opinions. Nothing we say is like, this is the source of truth of what you should do. Just sharing our thoughts and based on our experiences and based on our goals. And hopefully that's helpful to you.
Yes, and then if you disagree, you should just leave us a comment on Discord, and then I'll tell you how wrong you are.
Yeah, there you go. Let's get Ralph raging in the comments, guys. Cool. That is all the time we have for this topic today, for this episode. If you want to ask us any questions or get Ralph raging, just go to seabeasts.com. It is fun. Seabeasts.com. You can find a link to our Discord there. And come join us in the chat, make comments, whatever. And we do have Sea Beast merch is just always live. You can find that on our website too. And I think there's the Maple More Tales page is actually up. I've made a couple tweaks to it, and as I get more art and things, we'll put that in as well. So thanks again for being here, and we'll see you all next time.
All right, everyone. Thanks.
Bye. Huzzah!